Hey guys, today I thought it would be a fun idea to give you an update on my reading challenge so far this year. So far I have read a total of 7 books since January. 5 I've got copies of here I can show you, and 2 I read on my Kindle which I can still give you a little overview on. I'd just like to apologise in advance. I think this video is slightly on the slant and I can't quite fix it because I'm not using my normal tripod setup because I normally use my pile of books, but of course I'm talking about my books in this video, so I'm kind of using a pile of magazines. And I don't think it's working out quite so well. But the first book I read this year was Call the Midwife, A True Story of the East End by Jennifer Worth. And I love this book. It was so good. I love the TV series and it's definitely on par with the TV series. Sometimes I find books that I've watched the TV series first, I can't get into the books, but I definitely got into the book because the book has more, just say, little bits of story that aren't in the TV series, which I think is great, and I loved it very, very much, and I can't wait to read the second and third book in the series. Next up, I read Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, which I read in an evening. It's quite a quick, nice, easy read. I wouldn't say it's the best book I've ever read. It's okay. It's just quite cliche, and the character's not really relatable, but then I suppose I'm not really the target market for this book, but I found Penny at times just a bit up in the clouds and not very realistic about life, but I guess that's just what people want to read in teen fiction, so I can't fault this book. It's okay, just not really 5 stars. I'd give this about a 3. Whereas I'd give Call the Midwife a sort of 4 stars, I'd give this about 2.5 to 3 stars. Next I moved on to West End Girls by Jenny Colgan, and I picked this book up after I saw Carrie read it in a video and said that she quite liked it, so I thought I'd give it a little read and it was good. I did enjoy it. Again, kind of cliche, but sometimes I enjoy books that have their cliches in. It makes it a nice easy read before bed. Because I tend to read before bed, I think I've said this before, I like quite nice, light, easy reads, and the characters were good in this, and I like a good story with characters I like. So I'd give this, before, I keep forgetting I'm supposed to be rating these, I'd give this probably 3.5 stars out of 5. Fourth book I read this year is Fangirl by Rainbow Royale, and I love this book so much. Like, I'd heard great things about it and it lives up to the reviews so much. I mean, the first sort of 100 pages of the book I found it hard to get into the story, but once it got past that I was sucked in. I was reading chapter after chapter and I really didn't want to put this down. It's a great book. I really related to Kath. She's such, I think I'm quite similar to her character-wise sometimes, and I really related to her sort of struggles with uni and finding boys, and it's definitely a good book. I think if you're moving off to uni and you're a bit worried because you think you're a bit nerdy, this is a good book to read, and I really enjoyed it and I'd highly recommend it. The other book so far that I've read that I've absolutely fallen in love with and I think is a great book to read is The Manifesto on How to Be Interesting by Holly Bourne. Now this is a book, if you remember my haul video, I said I really liked because it had orange pages, and again I fell in love with this book within sort of the first chapter. It's so good, and I think again I related to it because the main character goes to a private school, and I went to private school and I kind of relate to the silly little things that happen in here that are just so, would only happen at a private school. And I think even if you don't, it's just such a relatable book. I think everyone at some point in their lives sat down and thought, I'm not interesting enough and I need to change myself to fit in and be more interesting and be more popular. And I think it's great. The only issue I have with this book is that it should have a trigger warning on it because it covers topics of self-harm in it, and there's nowhere in this book, like on the cover or within the first couple of pages, that gives a warning of that. And I think it should. I mean, it does say content on the back is not suitable for young readers, but I think it should have a trigger warning about that sort of thing. I don't think it would ruin the plot, but I think it would definitely give some warning to people that do suffer with that, and I wouldn't want anyone to be surprised. Final book I've read so far this year is The Glam Guide by Fleur de France. And I don't know if you count it as a book, it's more kind of like a guide, but I absolutely love this. It's so prettily designed. Let me come in closer. The front cover is gorgeous, and then all the illustrations inside are absolutely amazing. I think the reason I love this so much is while I'm not a massive fan of Fleur, I do enjoy her videos, but the great thing about this book is I think you could pick this up without not knowing who she is and still really enjoy it. It's got some great tips in it and some great hairstyles I really want to try out once I've had a haircut, because my hair is literally like a rat's nest at the moment. And it's just generally very pretty. Very pretty, and I keep talking about it because the illustrations are so pretty and it's all lovely colourly themed and it's just nice. It's a nice book to read, and it's a great book because you can pick it, you don't have to read it all in one sitting, you can pick it up, and I'll definitely go back to this and look at other tips and stuff in here when I've forgotten about them. Those are all the books I have read so far this year. My challenge this year is to read 25 books, so I think I'm making good progress, having already read 7, and I'm already on my 8th book, which you saw in my last video is Giovanna Fletcher's You're the One That I Want. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you'd like me to do another update in another couple of months, then leave a comment below. And also leave any comments or suggestions of books I should read. I've got kind of a list of 10 other books I want to read, but I'm always looking for suggestions, so leave them below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye!